ChatGPT can also be used to do data analysis. I've got the Excel file here, which I use to keep track of participants to training sessions. So the first column is just the name of the training session. The second is the date at which that training took place or will take place. The third is the participant, represented by his email address. And the last column is whether that person, after registering, actually turned up. Okay, so what I would like to know, for instance, is how many participants came from a certain university. And of course I can determine that based on the domain name of the email address. The data file is an Excel spreadsheet which I can upload to ChatGPT from my local computer. Okay, so now we can start ask questions on our data. For instance, how many people signed up for the training sessions in total and how many actually participated. So that then it's of course easy to compute the ratio of no-shows. So basically ChatGPT is analyzing the data and it creates Python scripts in order to deal with this data. So that basically means that you can actually check what it's doing, and if you like, you can copy paste that code and use it as basis for a script of your own. But let's continue and let's see what the actual result is. So, okay, it has been very smart in the sense that it has actually grouped the information by the training. So that's rather nice. It wasn't really what I asked for because I wanted the overall numbers rather than broken up by training, but okay, I can live with that. Let's check whether it also computed the no-show ratio, and indeed here it is. So for a number of trainings we get a no-show ratio between 20% say and 40%. Okay, I still want the actual no-show ratio for all the trainings combined. So let's see whether I can get ChatGPT to do this for me. So again, generating Python code. And we get at 33.64%. And indeed, that was what I asked for. Another question that might be of interest is, are there any trainings that have been scheduled multiple times? So that would mean that a training with the same name occurs on multiple dates. So let's see what ChatGPT makes of this. Okay, indeed, the training session version control with Git has indeed been scheduled twice in this period. So it occurs indeed twice in this dataset. So the question we started with, how many participants are there belonging to different universities or other entities, wasn't answered yet. So let's try and get an answer now. Okay, so these are our percentages, and essentially the majority of participants is from KU Leuven, Belgian University. Scrolling down in the list, we notice that besides universities there are also research institutes and even some private companies. So it would be interesting to challenge ChatGPT to identify the non-academic participants. Let's see how that goes. So as you can see, we get a few reasonable candidates, like Gmail. That's definitely correct. And Flanders Make is, yeah, you might discuss about it. But of course the next one, Étudiant FST in Tunisia, is most likely a university. ITG, Institute of Tropical Medicine, is research institute. TUM.de is a technical university. So, and apparently U Antwerp students are not counted as academic, and U Ghent, capitalization also isn't recognized as such. And I don't think they will be very happy at Vito with this. So, yeah, this is not really a very good result. So let's try to rephrase the question a little bit and ask for the companies that participated in the training sessions. Not particularly better, since it actually just did the same thing again as last time. It really hasn't got a clue what a company is or what a university is. It just has a list of what happens to be mostly Belgian universities, and that's where it actually ends. Of course, with large language models, the clue is always to go into conversation with them. So what happens if I ask it what TUM.de actually is? As you can see, it searches the web and it figures out correctly that this is a technical university of Munich. Okay, so now the question is, can it use that information to improve the result it gave before? And indeed, as you can see, now it realizes that the Technical University of Munich is in fact an academic institute, so basically it improved its previous answer. Now, of course, you would have to do this for each and every, shall we say, suspicious entry in this list, which makes it rather manual. So, frankly, I would actually just copy the code, add some things which I know to be academic, and be done with it. Of course, we might try to let ChatGPT do that. Let's see what happens. So this looks better. It's not entirely correct, because still University of Antwerp students and U Ghent with capital doesn't seem to be academic, neither is Vito. So basically it helped a little bit, but as you can see, it's not foolproof. So that's a little bit disappointing, but yeah, there you go. ChatGPT can also help us do data visualization. So I'd like to see how many participants there are in Python related courses versus in non-Python related courses. So let's see what ChatGPT comes up with. And so basically, here's my result. 24% of the training participants took part in non-Python, well, in Python-related trainings, while the majority of people participated in non-Python-related trainings. So about 3/4. Let's try something else, asking for a line plot that shows the number of participants over time. Okay, it has nicely done that. Of course, the last number of participants is for a session that will take place tomorrow, so basically that is not going to be very relevant. But apart from that, it is indeed the plot I would expect, because some trainings are more popular than other trainings. As such, this plot doesn't really mean anything in the sense that this would be useful over multiple years and see how the participation evolves, but this is comparing apples with oranges, since all of these are just different trainings. You may have noticed that these plots were made with Matplotlib, which is of course typically the go-to library for plots with Python, but they look a bit, shall we say, dated. So let's see whether ChatGPT can redo this plot, but this time using Seaborn, another Python plotting package that's very well suited for all kinds of plots related to statistics. Indeed, it does the import correct, Seaborn SSNS, and that's promising. It has redone both plots actually, although I asked just for the previous plot singular, but okay. So indeed, and it also replaced my pie chart by a bar chart. Okay, I can live with that. And then we have the Seaborn version of this plot, which is arguably better or not, depending on your taste. Let's see whether I can get it to do a pie chart rather than a bar chart. So indeed, it produces a very nice pie chart here in Seaborn style, which is, it looks a bit more modern than Matplotlib. Okay, so this has nothing to do with data visualization, but nevertheless I can't resist. Let's just ask ChatGPT what I should follow of these trainings if I'm interested in supercomputing. Python for HPC is definitely a good idea. Machine learning with Python, maybe. Code optimization, very good choice. Containers for HPC, excellent. Best practices for R on HPC, quite good. So basically, this seems like quite reasonable advice. Although actually I would have hoped to also see an GPU training which is in there, and apparently ChatGPT doesn't think that that is relevant for someone interested in supercomputing.